meeting to order. Appreciate everyone being here this morning.
Okay.
In a minute. We'll go ahead and start with item number 2, public comments on any kind of actual items.
Mitzi, did anybody sign up?
No.
All right. If that's the case, we'll go ahead and go to item number 3, consideration of tennis and the Pickleball Commission minutes from our April 17th meeting. It was sent out via email. You've had a chance to take a look at it. Do you have any questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Move for approval.
Okay.
Second.
All right. You get that? All right. We have a first and second to approve the minutes. Any other additional questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, it passes. Okay, we'll go to item number 4, the renovation project update. And Thomas, I think he's going to give us an update there.
So our renovation outdoor courts is complete. I think everybody was very happy with the product. So the same company's coming in. It's been a bit of a challenge with the schedules in the summer and stuff, but they'll come October 5th, and they'll be here for 1 week. So the facility will be closed that 1 week, but they're going to completely redo the indoor courts, and we've got a few lines that are out of, they're only an inch or 2 out, and we're going to get that corrected and ensure that they're redone. So they'll be a little slower. I don't know if that's good or bad, but for a little while, till the sand wears in. That's the completion here. And then as you see out, our ball field project's going really nicely. They got the knee wall up this week, and we anticipate that opening November the 4th. And it'll really be a nice addition to the park. It has the light show, so when we have special events here, we're able to do the light show and things like that to help advertise. It's going to be a great addition.
Okay, any other questions about that?
This isn't renovation specific, but just the net that's down over here.
So basically, someone got in there and cranked on that and stripped the gear out. So we've got parts ordered, and ideally they'll be back. I mean, they'll be in. And he went on and ordered other parts. So in the event we have this again, it'll be a pretty quick fix.
Yep.
But we anticipate we could hope to be 2 or 3 days where parts could come in.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
We're trying to figure out a way that people can't crank them because people don't know what they're doing and they say they're an inch off. So they get in there to start cranking as much as they can.
And they're using crescent wrench or whatever.
Yep.
So, I mean, the cranks are off.
We need to set it and forget it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Trademark
Coin
that.
that term, yeah.
Trademark that.
all right. Any other questions about the updates?
Well, one other, I know, Nate, maybe you give an update on the Veterans Park of all that. Not
Yeah.
necessarily, but there is additional pickleball inventory with that
So we got
project.
8 pickleball courts coming in with Veterans Park. That project started. We're probably about 500 days away from that being done. Mass grading is happening. They're really making good progress on that.
How many days?
About 500.
Okay.
So we got some time. We're letting that one kind of just cook for a while. But those are all LED lit courts with a common area in between. Yeah. Come on,
That should relieve a lot of
Early
pressure.
27 is the.
I think I backed it out. It was. I'll send out the exact date. I did the math on it. I think but somewhere around there.
I get asked that sometimes.
So adding just more community courts to the inventory.
I have a question. I think that's great. In the future plans, are they looking to add in more tennis courts in this city?
Not right now. No. I think we don't have any more pickleball courts, but there's no imminent plans for more tennis courts right now.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to think of the Murfreesboro public tennis courts. Other than these that we have here, these are owned by the county, or county courts, right?
No.
those are our courts.
These are city courts.
The city and the county in 2008 contributed $500,000 toward the construction of those courts. We contributed 1 point, I forgot exactly. So they're city-owned courts. The obligation, though, is that they could use them for county school practices. At that time, there were only 4 or 5 tennis teams that would practice. It's gotten out of line. We're working now with the county, the school board, to try to get some type of maintenance agreement with them, because now they have all the high schools and all the middle schools playing, which was never part of the agreement.
Right.
But it is city-owned courts. We just have an obligation to let them practice.
Okay, so the courts that exist at any of the schools, I don't know if there are any, are they maintained by the city, or are these the only city of Murfreesboro tennis facilities? Right here, this
The ones
spot.
at the schools are maintained by the cities. The ones at the city schools are maintained by city schools, not
Correct.
Parks and Rec.
By not Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and then we have.
And they've converted those, I think, most of them. So a few that still.
We have Rogers Park, but we're about to, it's beyond disrepair, so.
Okay, so this is the only, because I've
Yeah,
had
it's a
people ask
simple
me
answer.
before,
Yes.
is there anywhere else I can go play tennis in Murfreesboro? This is the only spot,
This is
right?
our community court access, yes.
And of course, Smyrna's got the new Cedar Stone course. Pickleball and tennis. It's nice. Been out there several times. I don't know how many tennis courts there are. 6 maybe?
Are those the red courts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Red there. I think the Stewart's Creek
Yeah.
colors, red and
Yeah,
red.
okay. I wondered why they were red.
Okay. Any other questions about renovations? All right, we'll go to item number 5, consideration of the new fee structure. Jasmine?
Yes, thank you. So currently, we're the only facility in Parks and Rec that offer payment plans. So we would like to eliminate the payment plans, but by doing so, we would also like to add smaller memberships. So like a monthly option, 3-month option, as well as a 6-month option. Now, the yearly option would be the only option that would have block time. But by doing so, hopefully, these will attract the people that may not be able to do a full year commitment. So that's the ultimate goal for the smaller memberships.
Do we, if we do that, do we know what percentage of folks who have non-union memberships who are doing block time?
So, right now, we only offer yearly memberships. So you're asking how many of those that have memberships don't use block time?
Well, was it, you mentioned something about a change in block time, or these people on payment plans? I was a little confused about
No.
that.
The membership is a year-long membership right now. We don't offer anything less than a year. And membership benefits include the option to be able to secure block time. What is being proposed is just eliminate the payment plan portion of that, and then also add a monthly, a 3-month, and a 6-month that can help correspond to programs. Because basically, a kid that enters a class is going to have to pay a membership fee every time he comes, and he may only be taking a month-long class. So by offering that, there's no member benefits that come with that outside of the free program, but that prevents them from having to. And honestly, with the payment plan, we become bill collectors, and we really have no mechanism to actually collect that bill. The list of members who have done a payment plan, paid the first month, and then never paid again is just.
We've got a lot of collectibles out there.
And we're
We're
just
a
trying to
municipal
eliminate those.
entity that shouldn't be on the payment plan system. We're not going to send people to debt collections, but we've got a significant amount. If you look at right now what we're owed, it's just we have to figure out, draw a line of what we go after and what we don't. Because how it goes is they're in the system, and then they'll come in and they haven't paid the installment, but their parents are coming next week to pay it. It's a bad system.
And is that like they pay, or is it any kind of auto draft or credit card draft? So it's basically
They can do it in 4 installments. So, like if it's $600, not everybody can afford $600 at once, so we can break it up into 4 payments. They'll do 2 payments and then decide, well, I'm going to skip town, or I'm not going to use my membership anymore.
We don't have the ability to do auto draft. That's the problem. But now we're giving, if somebody only wants a 6-month membership or a month, we can give them that. Because I think that's what a lot of people are going after. Or it might be what somebody can't afford at that time.
So as we, because my brain's turning and I kind of have several questions, but as we are asked the question, if it was decided to eliminate payment plans, it would be 1, to lessen staff work, 2, nope, not
It's
1.
not to lessen staff work, it's just to make our systems match.
We are to make our systems match up with other city systems, and that we are owed money that it's hard to collect on.
We
and
can't
this would-
collect on. Yeah.
Okay. Have we have we run any type of, because to me, I mean, a monthly plan sounds great in a lot of ways, but I'm trying to think of it from a tennis player's perspective. I think that there are probably a lot of people that I play with that'll say, I just want a membership there from October
Right.
to March. Have we
Right.
looked at the financial implication of if we did have $600 from somebody and now their monthly is going to
It'll
be
be about 20% more.
Okay.
They'll pay 20% more to go that route.
20% more? Okay, so,
And also they get de-incentivized because if they don't do the annual, they can't do block time. So
cannot register, cannot participate in block
Cannot
time?
participate in block time.
That's going to be
Oh, cannot
really,
participate.
Right, you can't sign up for block time unless you're an annual membership. You don't get a number unless you're annual membership. A short-term membership just allows you access to the facility for a short period of time without any additional fees.
I understand that. I'm just, again, just trying to make sure that as a group, we're thinking about all angles because all angles will be asked. If I register for a block time, then I go out and find the 12 people that are in my block time.
Right.
Sometimes we have a sub. Sometimes Dana took my place yesterday.
That's
So
irrelevant. You can't book it. Who
Okay,
plays on
okay.
your block time?
Okay, that's what, that's
That's
what,
not any of your, that's not our concern.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Obviously,
That's-
non-members.
That's
would
what
do-
we just understood you to say.
That's what
Right, they pay a guest fee.
Yeah.
But let's say you've got a good friend that's going to do block time for 2 months. They could buy a 2-month membership and then they're not paying a guest fee every time they come participate on your block time.
that's a good point, yeah.
That's a good win. That's a good point for some of that.
What is the date that this is proposed to become effective?
I mean, we would like it to be effective immediately, but I understand there's probably going to be some grace period, so I think that's some good discussion.
We need a phase-out period of what we have and just really assess where we are with some of the installment payments. We can follow up. It might be maybe an October 1st implementation. But we can go back, I would say, approve with the understanding that it will be implemented on October 1st, and we'll follow up if we see any logistics issues. You're talking, Mary Evelyn, about kind of the financial, like what we'll lose. The past due invoices that we have, far outweighs any drop off at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will have a net increase because of this.
Oh, okay.
And then
We just don't want
again,
to go, bang on doors and hit people's kneecaps for money. We're not in that.
Sure.
We're not in that business.
sure. I mean, you do have the looks for it, Nate, I'm gonna say, but
Jeez.
outside of that, I mean, I feel like you can crack somebody. So,
Here's your money.
just to make sure I understand too, like my membership renews in February. If this goes through, essentially, let's just use the obligatory October 1st. I would need to pay on October 1st, even though
Once your membership comes up.
it would be when your
Yes.
membership, okay.
Right.
Okay, it just is when it comes up, you are not
So
offered
I
a
would say
payment
if
plan.
somebody bought a membership in June, we will honor that installment payment all the way through next June.
Perfect.
If
Got
they
you.
want to.
Got it.
Am I off on that,
Right,
guys?
Got it.
but no new
That makes
payment.
perfect, that's
Right,
perfect.
but
that's
if
perfect.
somebody comes in
That's-
today and says, I need
Okay.
to renew
Right.
it would be under this auspice. So then, thinking through that, I would recommend September 1st.
Yep,
Instead, there's no reason to.
Right,
let
because
them
there's
go.
no,
Yep.
you're not being penalized.
Yeah, but we'll just make sure, and we'll make sure our front desk staff is aware that we're going to continue to honor that payment all the way through until their
Yeah.
next membership date is due.
Is this an action item you need to approve?
Yes.
Okay. I should have asked for a motion.
If someone wants to make the motion with it
I heard
effective
October 1st, and I heard September 1st.
September 1st.
September
Because we
1st.
can do that quickly.
I move approval of the proposal, new fee schedule proposal, going into effect September the 1st.
Is there a second?
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve this new fee structure effective September 1. Any other discussion? Not? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Not? It is approved.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, can I ask one more thing? I know we
Yeah,
must have,
no.
sorry.
Too
No,
late.
I'm done. What is the monthly, I mean, will we know that? What is the monthly
Yeah.
rate?
It's in your packet.
Sorry.
If you go to that, you can see all the rates. And it's similar, the breakdown is similar to what we have at our other passes, like Sport Town Patters. Not similar in price, but it's similar increase, percentage increase for those. And we still have the resident discounts.
Got printed on
The
both
current
sides.
one's on the back.
And seniors, what, 65?
We'll be trying to see this.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not 65, because I get the senior discount. And I'm not
I
65.
can't find it.
I think it's 60.
Well,
I think it's 60.
right now it's 250.
What is the age?
I mean, the age.
I'll look
Oh, the
it
age.
up. I'll tell you in just a second.
I think it's 60.
Hey, I'm getting to that age, so it's getting to be relevant to me.
Yeah, I think it's 60.
60, it's the same thing.
That stuff's gonna matter pretty soon.
6 more years, still the same player.
Does that
All
address
right.
your question, Mary Ellen?
Yes, thank you.
Those were really good questions, you guys. It's thoughtful
know.
because I actually didn't even think about some of those things.
All right, our next item is consideration of increasing school membership benefits.
Okay, so that one's mine, and just a little quick background. Robert was asking about, how many schools and all that. So we actually are all the high school, middle school tennis courts over here, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of kids that participate in that, okay? And as an administrator here, I find that there's so little actual engagement with us. They don't really talk to us about about coaching tips, practice times. There's probably 2 schools, Siegel and Central, that do some block time type of reservations. But all those kids, they're not really playing year round, okay? And tennis is one of those sports that requires so much skill that you should at least start in middle school, and you should be playing year round. So the objective of this revisiting of this school policy, which essentially was a school can purchase a membership for their roster of students, either middle school or high school, and then they can book courts at ATC. Well, this policy was created before there was all these programs like Bump, Junior Bump. We have a couple of other programs that Dana has spearheaded, like there's doubles match play and also junior match play, those types of things. So what I'm trying to do is kind of sell to the schools, well, for $500, you can have anyone on your team come over and play Bump, or these mixers, and you can reserve up to 3 courts within a 10-day period. So that's kind of a balancing act, so that because there are so many kids at so many schools, obviously we want a paradigm shift. We want all those kids playing here, but we have to balance it out with everyone else's interest in MTSU and the community members and things like that. But our plan is to be able to come to them with a trifold and with this membership, with the benefits, and go to the schools and say, we would like to engage you more. We would like your kids to come here and feel welcome and at home, and to have as playing opportunities year round. And so that they can just come use this facility a lot more. That's the intent there.
And so they submit to you a roster.
That's right.
When they come in here, how do you know whether they're on the roster or not?
So so Ronica and I, Ronica's one of my best gatekeepers, so I had her kind of like bulletproof this for me as best I could. So the coach gives us a roster, and what happens is they have to email us or call us and get the court in advance. So they don't just get to come in. The coach has to reserve it, and we just know who's on there.
Well, yeah, but these kids come in at different times. Looks like to me Ronica is going to be under the gun. Because, unless she recognizes somebody, do they have a little membership ID or something that they're going to get?
Just give them an ID card.
That's excellent point. Yeah. So, right, it's not carte blanche. We want to make sure we're giving the kids that are sanctioned, that thing. So that's something to put in there.
Veronica's the gatekeeper. I mean, I can't say enough good about her.
I know.
But-
That's why I
But
brought her
I
up.
could see, unless there's some automated kind of thing, such as a card,
Okay.
I can't see how she's going to be able to manage.
I don't
Well,
think that's difficult to do.
I guess the program-wise, they've got to sign up for those programs. They're not necessarily drop-in, so that verification can go through when they sign up. You know, it might be a kid gives us one kid's name and another one shows up, but, you know, that's
The ID
kind
card will take care
Right.
of it. Well, I mean, somebody could borrow an ID card too.
Well, the spirit for me is that we want lifetime players here. We want the kids to play, you know, and
That's a good goal.
The kid sneaks in and then buys a membership 2 weeks later. It was a good sneaky one.
Well,
We can come up with a mechanism. I mean, we monitor that at a lot of
I'm just trying to look out for Veronica.
Well, I mean, when we think about it, it's not going to be
Scared of
like
it.
waves of it, but I think we can think more individualistically about how we can manage that. And I'm confident we can come up with a system.
So, I guess, is middle school and high school the same season now?
no, middle school's now, and then
Fall.
Okay, so the coach will give you the roster, and the middle school coach will get the roster in the fall, and that, all those players will have the whole year to come?
well,
Is that what you're
so
saying?
I did kind of
Not
make it.
just the
I did make
season?
it a yearly thing. So, but you know, Jasmine and I talked about this earlier. We, you know, obviously we can make it into a, you know, 3 month or whatever. But that kind of defeats my goal. And I want to get lifetime, not lifetime, I guess. You know, do want lifetime commitment. But just we want kids. I mean, they just come here for the season and then we don't see them. It's tragic, and that we don't. There's no invitation.
The thought is if we got a high school senior that has this membership, and has those benefits, they graduate, the expectation, they've gotten accustomed to that type of lifestyle or those benefits, then, you know, I think it would help retain those younger customers particularly.
And if they wanted a little bit more access, they could get their own membership. You know, that's what my mom would do. Is like, you know what, you're gonna need to play every single day there. You know, you don't need to rely on these little parameters that, you know, are kind of inherent in this membership. So there's a jumping point. If you are even more committed, you could get your, and they're not even really that expensive. You know, we have these options now that they could extend their playing time.
And the reservations, all coach makes all the reservations.
Yeah.
Even after the season's over with, if kids want to come and play 6 months later, they got to have the coach reserve.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, it's a gamble. I don't know what that looks like. I know, you know, David has done some coaching. I don't know if they want to do that year round. I don't know what their comfort level is. I want to open up the door and say, hey, this is a possibility. If you're really committed to your kids, this is something you can offer them. So,
The coach has to make that reservation throughout the entirety of the year. The kids aren't able to reserve a court. It's got to be through the coach. That's the primary point of contact. The only real benefit with the kids would be outside their coach is just coming to bump or those weekly.
Do you think,
Participation.
based on what you're seeing currently, do you think the coaches will be committed to doing that for those kids all year?
well, there's some that I think it's even going to be prohibitive to buy a $500 membership. So I think you're going to have a spectrum there, you know, and they're all going to be a little different. And so I know some coaches will jump on it. Some coaches are going to still be put off by the price, but hopefully with the added benefit and that might be way more enticing, and then they can fundraise for that.
Yeah.
You know, so that, because at this point, $500 for what they get now, it's not worth it. But I'm trying to say, look at all these extra benefits and access. So
So I think we have someone who coached before. Would you take advantage of something like that with your team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we do at Central. But I think it's a great idea because a lot of the coaches in both middle and high school are not really tennis people, right? So they don't have the connections or the knowledge to navigate, you know, how to do this. So this provides a pathway for them to, like, keep their kids playing.
yeah.
So that it's not so hard next year.
That would be my concern, is if they aren't enthusiasts, will they be motivated to really do this for the kids? But
You
so
know,
you would encourage them?
Something I'm thinking about, I know Thomas and the athletics team, they'll do a coaches dinner and bring in coaches for recreation, football or basketball. It might be, maybe not a dinner, but have something where we bring in all the coaches, invite them to come explain it all to them, the benefits, the newness of it, and try to sell it and pitch it that way.
Jasmine meets with our
Great idea.
coaches every year now, so it's pretty easy to integrate that.
And I think the desire is there from a lot of them. They just don't, they're intimidated by how to get.
That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that though.
Yeah.
Do you think this will have any negative impact on the use of the outdoor courts? Tennis is an outdoor sport for most of the year.
Well, I mean, you're right. I agree. It's an outdoor sport, and that. But I guess part of my agenda is, getting those kids involved year round in our junior lessons as well. That should also inherently prevent them from paying extra fees for not being a resident or not being a member. So so those kids that we are really targeting, they can practice indoor year round. And like today is kind of the exception, but it's been so hot. People don't even.
And yes, there are some hot weather that's going to draw you inside. And I'm not a coach. I wouldn't know how to be a coach. But just my common sense tells me, if I'm playing tournaments and matches outdoors, yes, inclement weather, I want to be in here practicing regardless. But if I'm getting ready for a tournament, during most of the year, I want them outside. I want them to experience the sun, the wind, the noises that are different from inside.
I couldn't agree more. And we've actually made some adjustments with our summer program. We've really, when I first got here, we were really kind of doing it indoors. We've really shifted that to outdoors, which has helped us also grow. But my coach said the same thing. The wind is your friend, the sun is your friend, adversity is your friend.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. It's just, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't want us to forget
Make it your friend.
that the Adams Tennis Complex includes 22 outdoor courts.
So with that, the challenge is you can't really book outdoor courts unless you are USTA, NALTA, and a school. So I guess the school could book those, but
It's not like we're going to start playing county matches inside. You know what I mean? I think this is just for that added benefit.
I understand what he's trying to do. Practice primarily.
I'll tack one more idea on that. And you're right, high school season sometimes starts in the snow and ends in triple-digit heat index. So one other possibility might be create a way for school coaches to have a team clinic with a pro and schedule out. We've done that too.
well, we wholeheartedly behind that, and same thing with the USTA. That's always been our goal, is to have coaches work, and I think that's part of what really makes this important to me is we don't engage. There's really so little engagement, and we have a lot of resources, not just courts but pros, and I'm eager to bridge that gap. I just trying to find ways to do it,
All right, is there a motion to support this school membership benefit recommendation?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second to support this school membership benefit service that Eric is proposing. Are there any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right, approved.
Thank you.
Ms. Dana, program report.
Okay. All right. We have 11 junior programs that run Monday through Saturday. These include our red, orange, and green ball classes for ages 4 through 12, our middle school, high school classes, beginning to advanced, homeschool, junior bump, and our new footwork and agility class and double strategy classes for middle school, high school players on Saturday. Our adult programs, we have a total of 8 that run Monday through Friday. These include our 2 double strategy classes, groundstroke tune-up class, shot of the month, cardio tennis, and a beginning and intermediate tennis class for adults, and bump. Our class ratio for all programs is on average 8-to-1. Our largest, most well-attended programs are bump and our new junior footwork and agility class, excuse me, and double strategy class for juniors on Saturday. Our junior bump on Friday has an average of 13 to 15 players. Saturday bump, which is multi-generational, has 20 to 25. And Sunday, multi-generational, uses all 8 indoor courts with an average of 40 to 45 players. And we do pay a pro or a tech to host all of our bump events. We offer playing opportunities for members and guests through our doubles mixers Monday through Friday. They're free for members, and we offer them for 2 to 5 3-0 players and 3-5 4-0 players. And guests pay a $15 to $20 fee. Our most popular mixers are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Our co-ed doubles 11 to 1, and the mixers are self-run. The revenue for May that we made for programs was $4,623. In June, we made $19,606.25. The losses were in bump in our 4 to 6-year-old tennis camp. Same thing for May. We lost it in bump in one clinic. In July, we made $16,354. Our losses were in bump, our 4 to 6-year-old camp, and our one of our ground stroke clinics. So those are our numbers.
What's going on with bump? You just don't have.
It's a member benefit, so members, it's basically collection prior. You have to be a member, but it's a free activity for members. So
The loss was small. I mean, it was like 25. I mean, it wasn't a big loss.
basically a technician to facilitate, and it was a very popular member benefit.
Yeah, I was talking to Dana because she says it's free for members, and I go, that's kind of semantics for me, because it's what it does. It retains membership. It builds value in the membership, and and that's really what I try to do. And I know sometimes I've been critiqued, like, don't do a bunch of free stuff. It's not free. It retains membership. It gives you hope and access to courts that sometimes are very difficult to get to, either through block time or other members. So we've actually had a lot of people in Saturday bump and Sunday bump join, some MTSU professors and other people, because that was like their gateway into like finding
We sold
court
a lot of
time.
memberships during bump, but especially Saturday, and we have people coming in from Nashville to pay. So they pay a $5 guest fee. So it kind of offsets. So that's why I said the loss is kind of small. Because we have a lot of people traveling. To come on Saturday and Sunday to play. So it's fun. If you've never come to bump on Sunday, it's crazy and it's fun. Yeah, and they have a good time. They on Saturday they don't want to leave. We have to literally say it's time to go. Yeah.
I like how Dana said multi-generational too, because often you'll get those different generations. Like when I was young, I was mentored by people older than me, and I learned how to act.
Yeah.
I didn't know right away. It took me a while. But
Yeah.
What has been the utilization of the facility since we started the early hours? Are people using the 6 a.m.s or 7 a.m.s?
Well, it's definitely still niche. Yes, they are. And then we have a new pro, Courtney, which is not a new pro. She's started here 7 years ago or whatever. So some of the pros come in here and teach lessons. I would say some of the more elite juniors come and train during that time before school. There are some also, again, MTSU professors and stuff that come in early and use it. It's not prime time. But I think it's vital, particularly if you go to work. You can't play tennis starting at 8 o'clock and expect to be on work on time. So it's just great. And also allows us to clean courts when they're not used. So eventually I'd like to stay open later, but we'll see how that goes.
What time's the closing now?
So we close at 9, Monday through Friday, and we close at 7 on Saturday and Sunday. And I'm proud to say on Sundays, we open at 8 because sometimes, we used to be, we didn't open until 11. Dear goodness. Not so
Do you
fun.
reserve courts at 8, or when do you start taking calls?
Right when we open.
Right when you open at 8?
It's 6 o'clock in the morning during the week. Yeah.
Do you, speaking of pros, can you give us an update on last month we talked about the contracts that we're going to be discussing. What's the update there?
They're all.
They all signed?
Yeah, they all signed except for I think Scott. Scott, I sent him an email yesterday, and we talked a couple weeks ago. But yeah, they're all signed, and Courtney, Mark Milner decided he was one of the coaches whose spouse runs the farm, which is this big tennis facility. He elected not to come work here. And then we're working on getting Diego Rosario, which runs our conditioning class. What's it called? It's
Footwork and agility.
I love that name, footwork and agility. And he also can teach at the elite level. Actually, he and Robert won the doubles last 2 years ago? Last year? Okay. Sorry.
Last year.
Too many details, but so
He's
they're
an
all
excellent
signed, ready to go.
On the pros, I know we lost a pro, the head pro here. Is there?
I'll give an update on
Yeah,
that if
okay.
that's okay. Once we're done, I wanted to provide just a couple of staff updates. I want Thomas to talk about some of the issues we're having with pickleball, tennis, and some of the stuff that we've been working on as of last week and this week doing. But
Before you go to Tony, just to finish that discussion, I know that we talked about the rate and how you were hoping to get folks starting at 40, but then you had a range. Did you set the rates?
Yes, we did, based on their certification level.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and actually that's part of the reason we made more money this year too, because we charged more for our lessons and then we had to pay out less to our pros. So that was a really good formula. Kind of hard not to fail when you do that.
All right.
Yeah, so we did move on from Tony. Tony had another opportunity. So we're looking forward, asking for patience. I don't know how we're going to refill that position. We need to strategize just a little bit and look at really our program and assess the best way to move forward. So I anticipate we're going to hire another head pro. I don't anticipate it being anytime soon.
So when you say you don't anticipate, one thing, what is the timetable? Is it 6 months? I assume that the position stays in the budget. So
it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
So 6 months, year.
I can't answer that question right now.
I think it's contingent on the existing program and the program structure that we've rolled out over the last few months. It's very successful and seems to be getting better. So Dana and her staff, they're doing a wonderful job. We made some adjustments so that the technicians become city part-time employees. She's in the process of hiring those staff now. So really bumping up her staff and taking the model that we have and trying to get it as successful as we can is our focus. And then in that, these needs arise, and we may see a different need for the head pro as what we were needing prior to this.
Yeah, I'm starting with Robert. I don't quite understand, what our big picture vision is. Long-term goals. And to tell you the truth, in the last year, I never really understood what the organization structure was. Who reported to who, what the roles were, and those kinds of things. That was sort of a mystery to me.
I think it's we had a clear structure. I think that was part of the, maybe the concern that it wasn't adhered to as it needed to be. That created maybe a public perception of confusion. There was no confusion internally, but I don't want to, go too deep into that. But the right.
Well, from our perspective, I never saw an organization chart. I'm used to, in my experience in Tennessee state government, there was organization charts.
We have all that. I'd be glad to send it to you if that would help.
Well, it was never shared with this commission that I remember.
No, I think
I knew only because I went through the search
Right.
And when I went through the search, it was explained to those of us who were on search. But you're right, I don't remember having that discussion in our meeting.
You know, and Eric sent an email out about about a month after Tony was gone. But Eric, you left clues to the fact that Tony was gone. You took down the picture of all the pros.
Right.
You know, one day I walked in, didn't see that thing. And I
Well-
asked him, they said, well, we're getting updates. And then finally, a couple of weeks later, he comes back and gets some.
Well, we were going to get his picture up, but then he found another opportunity. But you know, and I do apologize. You know, I get caught up in my own world, and you know, and Robert called me and said, you know, hey, I heard through the grapevine, and then that's when I realized I hadn't communicated it, and we obviously lost touch since spring fling because we didn't have, you know, meetings since then. You know. And I didn't, and Robert really advised me, says, don't you think it'd be a good idea to tell people before the meeting so that way at least we have some time to kind of digest that.
Well,
And
I'm finally getting an email.
Out of respect of the process of a former employee, we were trying to do everything we could do to make this transition, you know, respectful. And then there are some operational, you know, logistical things that we have to do from an employment separation that is not going to allow us to immediately shoot out an email until things are completely wrapped up. So,
You know, and we understand that,
Yeah,
but this
makes
was
sense.
like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
I'm out there playing tennis, and there's like, well, Robert, you know, since Tony's gone. I said, what are you talking about? Since Tony's been gone. And that was 3 weeks later. And I do hear what you're saying, but I think that, you know, since people know this commission does exist, they come to us as stakeholders on this commission, and it just really made us look rather clueless when the general public, and you're right, we don't need specifics. We don't want specifics. That's not our place. But I think it helps us protect you and
Right.
represent an interest when we know, and it just didn't look good at all. But no biggie.
And I guess follow up on I don't really understand why you wouldn't be in a hurry to try to replace the head pro position, why that would be critical for the way this is set up.
Well, the way we've been set up here is we have a collection of professionals that have been here for a long, long time, and they tend to get within their scope and their processes, and you know, it's really working well with the new programs and the way they partner with us, and you know, that's going very smooth. We're just reluctant to bring another entity in until that gets off and is launched, and we have what we could consider a youth academy or a youth program, as opposed to bringing someone new in that's going to want to start from scratch.
Did you do an exit? Did you do an exit interview with Tony about what maybe suggestions he had, how his position could be better utilized or work better with it?
One suggestion was to be in contact with the high schools and the middle schools, you know, and email them, and you know, I think that's some of the
That
backdrop.
comes back to my question of what your strategic vision is for this complex, for tennis, you know, for the growth. Seems like to me it sort of starts there, and then you start detailing, you know, what's it going to take to support that? What are going to be the goals? What are going to be the tactical things that you do to implement your
I
strategic
think that's
vision?
part of the process that we're in. You know,
Yeah.
we do have a strategic vision, but I think applying that vision before we bring somebody else. I don't see us doing a nationwide search. It's going to have to be the right person who fits, you know,
In our culture.
They've got to understand the culture of Murfreesboro, the culture of tennis in Murfreesboro. They've got to understand how they can be productive within that. In that, don't just come in and change. It's impossible to come in and just change everything. So we want to dictate that on the beginning, is set what this is, and that person, if and when we choose to hire somebody, which I think we will, that's going to be part of the process, is them buying in on the front end of that.
Can we have in our next meeting, That's another thing I wanted to talk about was frequency of meeting. We haven't met since April. I think one of the things that would help us get to what you're alluding to would be consistent meeting. Perhaps at our next meeting, could we have an item where we are shared vision of what you're thinking of the current structure, so that we can have a better idea as members of what you are thinking. Not necessarily say that, okay, now go out and find that head coach, but it will give us an idea, because I do think that there's some folks who aren't as on page about it. I've seen the structure, but I don't know if that's what exists now. Now that you don't have Eric here, how's that affecting you? How's that affecting her? And we just don't know.
Did you just fire Eric? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm Tony, not
I'm
Eric.
free. I'm free.
Tony.
Thank goodness. I've been waiting for this day.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Frequency of meeting, our Parks and Recreation Commission meeting, we usually meet every other month, just because we won't be productive with time. We can meet every month. There's just not going to be actionable items every single month, because this is such a small, focused area. So
Yeah, I think right
Hours.
now it will be helpful, especially since we don't have a head pro. It may be helpful for us to get us up to snuff on where we should be, and it will help us to help you. We want to be advocates. I think that's why the city wanted this commission, so that we could be advocates in the community to give you, so you can have and give you what you need. Right now, I think that we're in the dark about some things, and I think it would just be helpful.
what would you say you're in the dark about?
That item right there, leadership, as far as the head pro being gone, the vision of what you're thinking going forward. I didn't realize that there's no more long-term thought of tennis infrastructure. I think that there's still some misunderstanding of the court usage that I think that we need to get on the same page about. I just think it would be helpful. And I just think that since we haven't met since April, we haven't had a chance to have these discussions.
The only thing we know is what we're presented about a week ahead of time. We don't know what the vision, I don't know what the vision is. And I'm with Robert. If I knew and I could buy into it, then I'd be in a better position to sort of answer and go out and talk to some of my buddies, on the tennis court about here's where we are. Here's why we can't do this, or why we can do this other thing.
I'm not sure our vision has ever changed. It was to provide the highest quality facility for the citizens of Murfreesboro by facilitating. To provide the highest quality tennis facility of the citizens of Murfreesboro while facilitating a culture.
I'm not asking for an answer.
And these
right
are
now.
culture items that we're working on with the programming side.
And we understand, it's going to take some time to sort of go through it, but a document of that, 1 or 2 page document of that would
We
be
certainly
very
get that
helpful.
feedback.
Newt, may I say something regarding the culture a little bit? As a bit of an outsider here, I've managed several facilities. What makes this facility difficult is you've got to work with MTSU's, our obligations with MTSU, our obligations with the school, and then our obligations to block time. So those 3 things are really difficult to integrate consistent programming that's year-round, that doesn't have to navigate those other things. Okay, so that's part of the culture that I think a pro would really just blow their mind. It's like,
Let us do this. Let us bring just. I know what you're saying. You want to see on paper the organizational structure and how that organizational structure leads towards the vision of the facility. We'll get that down for you, and we'll bring it back just so you know. I mean, the organizational structure is very simple, but we'll put it in there, and you can see all the way up and all the way down. But how that coalesces with the vision for this facility and what we're going to do.
Yeah, and I can answer, there is no plans for any more tennis courts in the future. We actually have less baseball and softball fields than we had in the 90s. We're like 20 each short to get us close to capacity for baseball and softball. Where tennis or soccer is short too, after just spending $12 million on soccer. So we've got a lot of other needs that we got to serve the whole entire community. So baseball and softball would be first, and tennis or soccer, because soccer would cover soccer, lacrosse, football, flag football, and all those other sports by making those multi-use fields. There's no plans for extra tennis courts right now.
Yeah, and that's why I asked. We didn't know. That's why it's helpful to hear that perspective about where the current needs are citywide for all sports.
Yeah.
As tennis players, we're going to ask,
Yeah.
because we love the sport. The only other item I have for other business would be, I spent all summer. I did not play on these courts over here at all summer on purpose. I wanted to see what the experience was going to be like on these new courts here. So I would come here and I'd play, and every day that I'd come, there would be more pickleball players on those tennis courts than tennis players. Now, I don't blame the pickleball players, because if you read the sign says tennis and pickleball courts. Now, they get on these courts, but I know that we've been told that those 6 courts are tennis courts, and then you have the pickleball courts, and that tennis players have access to those courts first. But what I have seen all summer long are tennis players who show up, sit and stand outside those fences and leave, because 4 of the 6 courts are being used by pickleball players. Now I will tell you, I've asked them to leave, and they have. But I've done it respectfully. I've said, by the way, these are tennis first courts, and I need a court. And they say, well, I understand, because you have the pickleball courts. Now, I've not done it disrespectfully, and they've understood. But I've seen other tennis players who don't know that they actually have access to those courts first, and they leave. So how in the world are we going to go tennis? Pickleball's doing fine. There are more young folks coming to play pickleball than tennis. But I've watched young tennis players leave these courts. But yet I've been told today that there's instructions to put tennis only over here, but nothing about tennis only over here on these 6 courts. People are confused. I don't blame these pickleball players. The sign says tennis and pickleball, but tennis players don't realize they have access to those 6 courts first.
I think what does that sign say exactly? It says they're intended for designated use
Right.
either once. I mean,
That's true.
But that's not what we were told. We were told that those 6 courts were being resurfaced for tennis players first. Pickleball players have the in courts. We were not told that these 6 courts here are shared use, and whoever gets there first.
They're not. They're intended for their designated use is what our standard is.
But when you read that sign, will the lay person read that sign and understand that's what that means?
I think so.
No, that's not. They don't, because I've watched them leave. I've watched them leave the courts. But I guarantee you, if they came over here and saw this sign that says tennis only, if they saw a sign that says tennis only for courts 17 through 22, they'd ask someone to get off those courts.
It says tennis only, no pickleball.
Okay, so why don't these say that?
Because there's a lot of times that
Shared
these courts, you have a jam-packed pickleball system,
Uh-huh.
and nobody's on the 6 tennis courts. That happens regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they're intended for their designated use. So people can come in and say, I'm here to play tennis. And if they have a problem with that, if they can't resolve that,
Mm-hmm.
then they can come and our staff will take care of it. I know our staff is working harder to have more presence. Thomas has got some new signage we're putting out here, but more of a presence walking around, making sure we're enforcing that, so people don't necessarily have to do that themselves.
Yeah,
And I would
but-
assume if there's any pickleball players on the tennis courts, they're beginners.
Yeah.
Because it's not, they don't have any lines there it's not set up for
They're just-
that. So they're just people that probably just don't know much about any pickleball at all, and the courts are full and they just go over there.
Yeah, and I've seen some folks who come and just getting ready so they can go down for the reserve time down at the end. And so, I don't
Warming up
blame
and stuff,
them.
yeah.
I'm just saying a lay person in Murfreesboro who wants to play tennis is not going to understand that's what that sign means. I think it needs to be clearer, because when I asked them to leave, they did leave. But the other ones show up and walk away. They don't know. They leave. And I've seen tennis player after tennis players stand outside that gate and just stand there. And one day I said, you do realize you have access to these courts first, right? Oh, I do? Yes, you do.
Hopefully we can resolve some of that with our staff presence. We've added some people that are going to be moving around. I know it's a busy time, especially when it cools off. I do think if we resolve this issue, we should go to Ukraine and Russia and figure that out after, and just get that thing resolved.
Let's take care of local stuff.
Yeah.
If we
We'll
can
take
fix
care of that.
tennis and pickleball.
And it's nothing against pickleball players. I have no criticism.
I didn't even know that was going on. Like you said, every time I'm over there's nobody on tennis courts.
Yeah. And that's why we would never say you can't, because, just use the eye test. You say, okay, you've got 24 people playing pickleball, and there's 0 people on the tennis courts.
I
And
agree.
So we want to make sure we're saying these are tennis courts. These are absolutely tennis courts. We're drawing a hard line, but we have to have a little bit of flexibility over here. When it's jam-packed, our staff, and you're going to have to look at the weather, you're going to have to look at everything,
Prime time.
scheduling. We will have a staff member out there enforcing that.
And you'll see in fall and spring, because during the
Absolutely.
summer,
Yeah.
they can get those courts.
Yeah.
Right.
Fall and spring, when middle school's here and high school's here,
They're
you're
premium.
going to see it even
We
more.
recognize the challenge of it, but I think the increased staff presence, we'll assess the signage if we need to. I know we sent all that signage out before we had it made, and everybody seemed pretty pleased with it. Several people said, that's great. So that did come out, everybody reviewed it before we put it up. So it's true.
I missed that. I wouldn't approve that because it's not clear.
Okay. I'm just saying it did go out, so we can look at it and see if we need to maybe modify it, but I think it's pretty clear the courts are for their intended use. I don't know how much clearer that can be, but I think having somebody float around, we can't have somebody out there all the time, but hopefully we can resolve any potential conflict before it gets there.
And kind of focus on those prime times, like when
Yeah.
people leave right after work and when they're wanting to get on there.
I think, and Thomas and I even talked earlier, we've got site supervisors that don't work here necessarily in athletics, who work ball fields and stuff. And if we need to bring some of our site supervisors out here just to be moving around, we'll do that. So we're going to do everything on our side to try to hedge it. Won't fix it. Nothing can fix it 100%, but we understand the challenge that'll happen, especially about a week and a half, 2 weeks when it's really nice.
Any other business anyone wants to bring up?
Only question I had, I think I mentioned this last meeting, it's been a while, on the Patterson Park. I know y'all said you had $70,000 earmarked for that, for the lights and just repair of those courts right now. When is that taking effect?
Well-
So we've got the fencing in the CIP. It should be released probably in October and November. Surfacing is.
The concern is taking those courts offline while we're waiting on construction of 8 more courts. If we take those offline, we're gonna blow this whole situation up. So our thought is to go get the Veterans Park built, then we can take them offline, redo the fence, resurface them, fix the cracks, everything that needs to happen to that. But if we attempt to do that now, we're going to be in here talking about more problems between pickleball and tennis if we take those 6 courts out of inventory.
Well, I think it's not a big issue right now because, daylight. But you start, when the time change occurs and, at 4:30, 5 o'clock, these are only good lit courts in town.
These
It's
are the
gonna
premium
be-
courts, huh?
We're going to hear there's going to be a lot of people
Well,
complaining.
right. But
And if you wait another year and a half for that, that's a long time to build it.
Just take a look at the lights. We'll take a look at the lights and see if it's what might need to be done, because those are relatively new lights.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look and see.
And then there's a net that's been down over there. I mean, surely you don't want to wait a year and a half to fix it. It's
No.
been down
No.
for 3
Simple.
months.
So we're talking about just
But
going
just
in and
the general
completely
make-
renovating
yeah.
that facility is the plan. And we built that in the CIP, but
Any just general
shut it
maintenance,
down.
so until then, because I understand that makes sense, would be appreciated, because I know there's one court and that's been down for at least 2 months. Nobody's fixed it. And that court didn't get used, Patterson didn't get used, nothing like this.
Who do you
but-
guys communicate with when who you talking to when you have a net down?
Well, I brought it up last meeting, I think,
Yes, in a minute.
yeah.
But,
So that's been April.
Well,
since
I know,
it's
but
sitting there.
I mean,
That's a Patterson.
That's a
Okay.
Patterson,
We're
yeah.
clearing up the communication. I think there's a gap in some communication
Oh, okay.
issues with, especially the front desk staff at Patterson. They're coming in, they were not understanding who's doing it, but Rachel's cleared that up as
Yeah.
far as that is Patterson.
we have such a small crew. It's easy for us to just shoot a work order because we're just really little, honestly, compared to Patterson.
I mean, overall Patterson right now is playable, except for that one court.
All right. Any other items?
Well, I want to say as ex officio, and then having been in administration for 25 years here in this community, and having grown up here in Murfreesboro, and I think I kind of sort of understand the culture. I just want you all to know what an amazing job you do here in this community. And at the end of the day, for someone who is about to turn 3/4 of a century next week, at the end of the day, what really matters is that you have people in leadership roles that care and that's compassionate about what you do. Because that's what moves a community and makes it attractive, given the growth challenges that we have. My daughter had an amazing experience here with softball and basketball. My husband had an outstanding career as a Hall of Famer at MTSU. And when you think of the education and the sense of community, it's the people that we celebrate, that we put our trust in year after year after year. And having served on the Parks and Rec Commission, I see big picture. And now the honor to serve with tennis and pickleball, I want you to know I am now a pickleball player.
Do you want your pickleball bag back that you gave me?
So I just want to thank you all for the honor to sit at this table, but also to be a part of a community where people matter, and especially to have you engage in discussions on how can we make it better, day after day after day. And I'm proud to be a part of the kind of commitment and dedication that you exhibit throughout this entire community. So thank you so much for that.
I need Dr. Bonner to give me a wake-up call every single morning.
Right.
Good morning, Dr. Bonner.
Really.
And I say this, Dr. Bonner and I talk a lot, for a variety of reasons. But, at the end of the day,
Yes.
I think Murfreesboro should be thankful. We got growing pains, right? Obviously, in every aspect. This is just a small aspect of the growing pains we're dealing with, right?
Yes.
I'm just happy, and we're blessed as a community to have facilities that people are passionate about.
Absolutely.
Because most communities have facilities that are full of apathy, and they're like, it's just a side thought. So we've got not just this facility, but I'm glad we have facilities that people are passionate on
Yes.
a very wide range of issues about.
Exactly. Very well said.
And
That's
Dr.
fine,
Bonner,
that's
I concur with you, and I think it is, to have these respectful yet frank discussions, pro and con and whatever, is a sign of a healthy situation.
Yeah. And we should always remember that.
Yes.
Because for my journey, and to be able to sit at this table, I didn't have to go to the chemo center today. My daughter is doing well. My husband is healthy. Don't forget the blessings that we really celebrate in this country still.
I got a church up in here.
Hey, with that. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Adjourn?
Amen.
So moved.
Thank you, guys.